Like most of the people at this hackathon, we were deeply concerned about the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, we were particularly interested in the mental health effects of stress and pressure built up through a large period of quarantine. Our research showed us that the psychological impact of quarantine included lethargy, lack of motivation, and loss of energy. Some of the ways to solve for these effects is to take breaks, establish routines, and to celebrate small accomplishments every day. This formed the basis for our idea with Once a Daily Do. So, what is Once a Daily Do? Well, in short, it's an app that suggests small, engaging activities for the user to do once every day to increase productivity, help manage stress, and counteract the lethargic effects of long-term quarantine. The activities themselves can range from cooking a meal to listening to some music, just to provide the habit of doing something new every day. We encourage user participation by putting our software front and center on the most intimate digital device that consumers own, their very own smartphones. Additionally, we keep track of activity history, streaks, and awards to employ the same psychological tactics that social media apps and games use to keep your interest. Not only will this increase engagement, it will also provide a small sense of validation that is important for improving mental health. So here's a quick glance at what the app looks like from our design and prototyping work based in Adobe XD. The navigation is simple and intuitive, and the design language for the app helps promote a warm, friendly demeanor to the end user. Here are the technologies that our software was built with. On the front end, we have a cross-platform app built with Flutter and Dart, with the UI design rapidly prototyped in Adobe XD. Markdown formatting is used to encode the plaintext JSON files sent by the server and used to create the activity pages. On the back end, the server-side technology was built with ASP.NET Core Web API, with a SQL Server database all hosted on a HostGator shared IIS server. These are actual screenshots of the app running on an emulator, showing a variety of different tasks that can be performed. These examples show images and text, although through the use of Markdown, we envision an app that can eventually be extended to accept a video, embedded Spotify players, and any other widgets and components that would be relevant to completing a task. At the bottom of each activity page, we included a checkbox that can be used to indicate that it has been completed. Building off the technology stack slide from earlier, here's a more detailed look at how the app was put together. We put significant emphasis on designing clean, scalable code. On the server end, we utilized model controller separation with a repository design pattern that provides an additional layer of abstraction between the controller and the data access layer. On the client end, the Flutter code has been designed to be scalable across devices of a variety of different screen sizes and formats, ensuring near universal compatibility. So, you've heard us talk for a little bit. Now, let's actually see a demo of it in action.
So the first thing you'll see is our splash screen. And while this is loading, I want to make note that while this is running on the iOS simulator, we also, since we used Flutter to develop the front end, it can run on the Android simulator as well, which we have shown in some screenshots. Now the first thing that the app shows the user is a form so that it knows which activities to suggest. So I'll enter my name and then enter any food restrictions that I have. And so I'll enter that I'm vegetarian, and the app will try to keep track of this so that it can recommend appropriate cooking activities. And then the last question asks whether I prefer physical or mental activities, and I'll mark that I prefer physical. I'll complete the form, and the app will suggest me an activity. The first one being a community service activity, where it's suggesting that I go to an animal rescue center and volunteer my time. I want to make note here that we're using Markdown to embed this content, so although I'm only using an image and text here, it would be trivial to add video. When I'm finished with this activity, I'll click on the checkbox and head over to the calendar view. On the calendar view, first we can see the current streak that we have. Since we just completed an activity, our streak is 1 day. The calendar view also shows the days that you've completed activities and the activities that you've completed on those days. So if I click on the 13th, for instance, which is today, you'll see that we just completed the taking care of the community service activity. I can also view the other activities that I've already completed on previous days. The last screen is the achievements screen, which shows achievements for activities that a user has completed. As you can see, we have various types of achievements for the different types of activities that a user can complete. We believe that it was important to choose activity types that would cover a broad range of people so that everyone could enjoy using the app. So for instance, we have physical activities, mental activities, and also arts and crafts, cooking, going outside, and doing community service, which we feel like is a critical part to maintaining mental health.